kissed his muscles.
And I got a phone call from him saying that Peyton was kind of whimpering about something hurting him in his throat and that he had swallowed something and he wasn't able to get it out of his mouth. When I got home, I noticed he had 2 of the buckyball magnets attached to his uvula, and it was pinching, and that's what was causing him the pain and him to whimper. So that was when I was like, okay, we need to go to the ER, because not only does he have those on there, but he said he, put some in his mouth. So we had assumed he had swallowed some. We were expecting maybe he just swallowed one and it was just those 2. Come to find out, he had swallowed 25 of the buckyball magnets, and they were all attached in like a loop. So he had swallowed them all at one time. I remember seeing that x-ray, and it was the worst moment and the worst feeling in my life. That I couldn't believe it was real. Like, I couldn't believe I was there. I remember burying my face into my husband, crying, saying, this is not happening. Like, this is not happening right now to my child. So they were kind of borderline between still in his stomach, but approaching his small bowel. So they had told me, there was 2 options that the general surgery team was looking at, either laparoscopically with a scope, which was the easiest way, minimally invasive, for them to take the magnets out, or they were going to have to actually cut him open and do an X-lap to remove the magnets from his small bowel. So that made us even more nervous, thinking they were actually going to have to cut him open for surgery. What they were really concerned about was the 2 magnets attached to his uvula. Because once they removed one, the other one then would be free and would fall, and they were afraid it would fall into his airway. Initially, when they put the scope in to grab some, they, were counting to make sure they had all of them, and they're like, well, where did the rest of them go? So they kind of had like a brief moment where they were like freaking out, like, okay, did they move into the small bowel when we pulled these? But come to find out, they had actually attached to the scope itself. It was just a huge weight off my shoulder, and I just remember just thanking him profusely, for saving Peyton's life. It could have turned out so much worse, especially if he had swallowed some and then decided to swallow more later, and then being in 2 separate parts of the body, they could have attracted to each other and tore through tissues. There's just so many worse possible outcomes that could have happened. And I thank God that he was watching over him and that it was the best possible outcome for him.